He knows exactly what we need. Can you press record?
It is recording.
Oh, it's already recording. So I didn't die. Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for 6 things that we learned from Chelsea 3, Burnley 0. As comfortable afternoons at Stamford Bridge go, it's about as good as you can get, to be honest, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I missed the first 20 minutes of the game. I did. I was walking around the Eiffel Tower, been in Paris this weekend, which is the reason for no videos. I didn't die. Nothing crazy happened. It was just simply, I've had a bit of a hectic weekend. I've been feeling ill. I've had a horrible sore throat again. I've got this stupid cough, it's not going away. You guys know the drill. A lot of you have said that you were worried about me, and for that I'm very grateful, but there's no need to worry. I'm back now and expanding GBFC. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, why not hit the subscribe button? And while you're at it, hit the bell notifications. But anyway, Chelsea 3, Burnley 0. It was a huge result for Frank Lampard's Chelsea. We beat Nottingham Forest 2-0, kept a clean sheet in the FA Cup. 3-0 against Burnley. A struggling Burnley team, yes, they've not been in the best form, but it's another very confident win. And we've got 6 green boxes. I often try to find a yellow or find a red just so that we can balance things out from a progressive standpoint, but sometimes you just got to look at it and be like, you know what, we just want to revel in this a little bit more. It's Monday. Some people call it the worst day of the week. I don't tend to think it is, but some people look at Monday and think, blimey, we've got to wait all the way to flipping Saturday evening for another Premier League Chelsea game. So I thought we'd give 6 green boxes, and we're going to start off with my man of the match. And it could have been 1 or 2 players, and the majority of publications, the majority of Chelsea fans have given it to Mr. RJ. I'm going to give it to Callum Hudson-Odoi for just the monumental moment that was his first Premier League goal. Yes, it was from within the 6-yard box, but what we're seeing now from Callum, 2 goals, 2 games at Stamford Bridge. It's something that we've been lacking, confidence at home. He's a player who probably has been lacking a little bit of confidence due to the severity of his injury, not wanting to rush back into things, and at someone of his age, it's always gonna be something that's on the back of your mind that if you trigger the injury again, it could ruin the rest of your playing career. What we're seeing now from Callum, he's being given the minutes, he's playing on the right-hand side, which is something we're going to talk about throughout the beginning of this video. He's playing with confidence. We can see that he's not just a man that can only play on the left wing and cut in. He's playing on the right, he's looking very good, he's coming into central positions, he's holding positions out wide as well, trying to take players on again. It's a big, big moment because he almost signed for Bayern Munich. There was interest. He's come out and said that because he wasn't getting minutes, his head was turned by a big money move, or not necessarily a big money move, that's a negative way of looking at it, a move to a big club who wanted to see him as part of their future. Ian Robben, Frank Ribery, wingers at Bayern Munich, and you're being called upon to be their replacement. Of course it was going to be something that Callum Hudson-Odoi was going to look at, signed his new Chelsea deal, 2 goals in 2 games at Stamford Bridge. Considering Christian Pulisic is going to be out for a few weeks and he's had a very good start to his life at Chelsea, Hudson-Odoi's turn of form is going to be something that we're going to need to call upon in the busy fixtures and the important fixtures that Chelsea have got coming up over the next few months. But most people would say, and I do understand, it was a very, very good performance again, Reece James put in another brilliant performance at right back. Everything this man touches, when he whips the ball into the box, you just know it's going to find someone's head. Every time he goes forward, he looks so secure with the ball. I don't have any worries about him going forward and not being able to track back. I don't think he's very wasteful. I think everything that Reece James does is in an extremely collective manner, which, considering his age, considering his experience at the highest level, he's not had that many minutes yet, but everyone is so confident with what this man can do. In terms of, people come up with these comments about, generational talents, and you've got the likes of Kylian Mbappe, who we're going to see later on in tonight's video. Words like world-class and generational talent get thrown around all of the time. I firmly believe if there was one youngster at Chelsea that we have to single out for this whole generational talent phrase, Reece James is that guy. It was another brilliant performance. Is there a pigeon in the tree again? I haven't got rid of my Christmas tree. It's still on the balcony. I think there's a pigeon or something in it. Reece James and Callum Hudson-Odoi, they're starting to show the connection that we saw in the youth teams on the right-hand side. Chelsea are looking at it and thinking the right-hand side is the position where we really need to strengthen. And even though the January transfer window, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm happy that we haven't signed anybody. We have signed someone, 16-year-old Fiabema, I think his name is Fiabema. We signed the 16-year-old youngster from Tromsø in Norway, which is, again, another one for the future. Apparently we've spent less than £1 million on him, so 16 years old. It's not someone who's going to walk straight into the first team. He's gone into the under-18s. Chelsea haven't signed anyone in this January window. I've made videos about it, I've not spoken about it for a few days, and we will go into a bit more detail as to whether it's a major issue or not in a coming up video, which is going to be tomorrow. But, you know, the right-hand side at the moment, if we're looking at Hudson-Odoi and Reece James together, the connection and chemistry that they seem to have could be something for the rest of this season that Chelsea can definitely get something out of. So the next player that we're going to put in a green box, I genuinely didn't think he would ever find himself in a green box again. And credit to Ross Barkley, he said that he wants to fight for his place. He said that he's working hard in training extra minutes and extra hours in order to get fit and ready to be in Frank Lampard's selection again. So Ross Barkley came into the team. I took a look at the starting 11 and I thought to myself, I'm not sure about this. I don't know if Ross is going to be able to put up the quality that we need to get through a tough opposition such as Burnley. And Ross looked very good. He was getting into the box, his passing was very good, his long passing was good, his tackling was good, he looks fit, and he had put in a very, very good performance. And when I looked at it and I saw no Kante, no Kovacic, I'm not going to lie, I was very, very worried. And as we get onto the latter stages of this video, we might even talk about that midfielder who was in there with him as well. One of them, have a guess who it is in the green box. But Ross Barkley put in a very, very good shift. And again, I bring it back to this whole we haven't signed anybody yet thing. If Ross is going to start putting in performances like that, stuff that we saw in pre-season, we've been so frustrated throughout the entirety of this season, particularly that game that I haven't forgotten at home to Valencia where he missed the penalty. Since that moment, he's kind of been scapegoated for a lot of criticism, Barkley, and I think rightly so. But when he puts in performances like he did in the game against Burnley, he's going to give Frank more options and Chelsea more options moving forward between now and the end of the season, whether we sign anyone or not. So box number 4, and again, talking about selection headaches, talking about putting in a very good performance when he's been under criticism, when there's been rumours that AC Milan are hot on the heels of Andreas Christensen. Christensen was absolutely brilliant against Burnley. Burnley have got some very tall physical players, and the big questions that have been asked about Christensen is whether he can deliver from a physical standpoint in centre-back. You look at Rudiger, you look at Zuma, who's a bit of a mountain. You look at Tomori, who's shown a physical side to his game as well as the speed and the composure on the ball. Christensen has kind of been out of favour. He's had injuries, I think he's had an illness as well, and he came in for this game against Burnley, and again, I looked at it and I thought, is this one of those last chance saloon things where if the interest from AC Milan is actually strong and Chelsea might be in for a centre-back, we don't know what's real and what isn't real anymore. It's probably just a load of propaganda to get people talking about Chelsea because they got the money in the bank. We know these transfer rumours. There's nothing solid until the club announce that they've actually signed the player and you see him holding the flipping shirt. So Christensen's still a Chelsea man. He's still somebody who I definitely feel needs to adapt. I think he still needs to develop some more strength elements to his game to become the best defender that he could be. But he's in that conversation still of potential. And he put in a very good performance against Burnley. I felt very comfortable watching him defend against big strikers, against people that were giving him a tough time from a physical perspective. I think he dealt with it very well. He won his aerial duels. He was winning his tackles. And I've got to give him a green box. And again, it's one of those games where clean sheet at Stamford Bridge for the second time in a week, even though one of them was Nottingham Forest, they're not their strongest side, Christensen put in a good shift. And if we don't sign anyone this January, I guess we could all say worst case scenario, we know that we do still want a world-class centre-back. That whole conversation's not going away. I still firmly believe that, despite seeing the good performances over the last 2 games at home, Christensen did very well. And again, it gives us more options moving forward. These players can continue to develop. Not signing anybody won't be as much of a catastrophe as we're all making it out to be at the moment. So box number 5, I said that we were going to talk about one of the central midfielders. I said that Barkley and Jorginho, with no Kovacic and N'Golo Kante in the starting 11, I did wonder what was going to happen. We also had Mason Mount on the left-hand side of that midfield. Jorginho, again, he scored the penalty. He never looks like he's going to miss, and I say it every single time he scores one. When he does miss, we're all going to just be like, we kind of had that one coming with the whole run-up and the stutter and all of that stuff. But he converted his penalty again, scored Chelsea's first goal to get the ball moving, to get it underway. We do look a lot more calm. Yes, he's not got the pace to track back, and when he's going forward, it's very difficult for him to be able to track. I thought Jorginho pulled the strings again. I don't think it was his best match of the season. N'Golo Kante is supposedly Chelsea's greatest midfielder right now in the squad. Mateo Kovacic has been the best midfielder so far this season. Jorginho's the only one of those 3 starting the game for Chelsea, and he controlled things extremely well, which again shows the confidence that Lampard has in him, shows how much belief and faith that he has in him to lead the game for us. And I thought he put in a very good performance in the middle of the park. Overall for Chelsea, it was brilliant. I've not given a green box today for Tammy Abraham, who yet again scored with his head against big centre-halves. He did a very good job there, Tammy, with his goal. Not giving him a green box today because he could have had a hat-trick. I think he probably should have done better in front of goal. Despite the goal he did score, he could have had a couple more. So for that reason, I'm not going to give him a green box, but we're going to finish with giving a green box to Frank Lampard. I think there's been some elements tactically at home recently that has not been good enough from Frank. I think he'd be the first to admit that sometimes changes have not come at the right times. The way that we've set out the game from a formation standpoint hasn't always been correct. He didn't make changes in the game against Burnley, and I think that's a really important thing. When the team are playing so well, when it's looking so coherent on the pitch from a defensive phase, into the midfield, into the attacking phase, everything was very fluid from Chelsea. I think a lot of that was down to composure of Reece James, the link-up play with Hudson-Odoi. I think the balance of the midfield was very good. I thought Willian had a good game again as well. It was a very good all-round performance from Chelsea, and what we saw from Frank is that something was going well. There wasn't really anybody on the pitch who looked as though they were absolutely dying to get off because they'd done too much work. No substitutions from Frank Lampard. It's something that we obviously won't be able to see every single match, particularly with Champions League football coming back soon. Got FA Cup games away at Hull City as well. Got big Premier League away games, Newcastle, Leicester. But it was a very good all-round performance from Frank Lampard's Chelsea. Tonight, there will be a very, very exciting match log coming out from PSG versus Monaco. It finished 3-3. It was an incredible game of football. And we had some pretty cool experiences in there as well that are just not quite standard for a match vlog, so stay tuned for that one. Subscribe to the George Benson Football channel if you're new around here. Let me know the 6 things that you learned from Chelsea beating Burnley 3-0 in the comments down below. Thank you for all the support, and I will catch you guys later. Bye-bye.